Hey everybody, this is Alex Fabrega with Teaching Tips Tuesday, and today we have a first for the series. We have a TVI outside of Foundation for Blind Children. Please welcome Stephanie Buonocore. She is a TVI in the Chicago Public School System. Hey Steph.
Hey Alex, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, thank you so much for being on today. What do you want to talk about?
So, today I wanted to talk about with you something that I think a lot of TVIs face and something that can be kind of awkward to navigate. I wanted to talk to you about not essentially becoming a tutor for our children, and really sticking to the fact that we are teachers there to serve our kids and teach a very specific curriculum,
And what's that specific curriculum?
the expanded core curriculum.
For those folks at home that might not be familiar with the ECC, it is 9 specific areas that have been federally recognized to be of special importance that should receive specific instruction for students with visual impairments. But that aside, back to what you were saying, Steph.
Yes, thank you for that. It was beautiful. Um, I think that I have definitely faced this. This is my fourth year teaching, and I've definitely faced this every year. And I think that as a general ed teacher, you can really get overwhelmed by just even having a student with a visual impairment in your room. And that's totally understandable. It's a new thing, and people get nervous about things they don't know. Um, with that being said, a lot of times TVIs can find themselves in a situation where essentially the teacher is giving them the math homework or the reading homework and saying, "Can you work with them? I don't have enough time to do this with them in class." And that is very much not our job. We are there to support them and adapt any materials for our students, but we by no means are math teachers or English teachers, and we definitely shouldn't be.
If it was my job to help a kid with math, that kid's going to fail math. I
Absolutely.
have no idea where to go from there. Yeah.
Agreed.
What are some steps that a TVI can take to ensure that this sort of thing doesn't happen?
So, one thing that I suggest, and I actually do myself, is in the beginning of the year, I like to meet with all of my students' teachers. I like to, come in a friendly face and try to ease them a little bit if they're nervous. But I also very clearly and very specifically state what I'm going to be doing with the students. Um, I make it very clear that I have things that I'm working on. I'm working on their IEP goals attached to this curriculum. There is purpose, and I am not a tutor. It is not homework time, that kind of thing. All while also reminding them that we are there to support the kids and support them, and we are happy to adapt any materials, but we cannot teach that content.
I mean, you can't blame that classroom teacher.
No.
TVIs and students with visual impairments are just so low incidence that they could be 20 years into their career and never have met one before.
Actually, yes, this year I had a teacher, 23 years teaching, and it's her first time having a student with a visual impairment.
Perfect example. Yeah, and it happens.
Absolutely.
Now, what about what would you say to a TBI who's already in this situation? How do they approach this without making things awkward to the rest of the school year?
I gotcha. And I think I struggled with this my first year. And one, because especially if you're an itinerant teacher and this is not your home school, you don't really have a home school, obviously, but you don't want to step on anyone's toes. You want everything to go very smoothly for your student, for you, for that teacher. Um, if you're already in that situation, my best advice is to just rip the band aid, nip it in the bud if you can, and have that conversation because it will only get awkward once your student just starts failing, and then the
Yes.
parent is wondering why.
All right. Well, thank you very much for bringing that up for us today. I have one more question for you, and that is, what is your favorite part of your job?
Oh, my favorite part of my job. I love a good independent living skills lesson, a good cooking lesson. But my absolute favorite part of my job would probably be when you are working on something with a student for, a while and they finally get it, they reach that goal and it's like, that connection was made. And just seeing that pride and that joy in their face, that's definitely my favorite part.
Absolutely. When it's one of those things you've been working on for months and months and months, and it finally clicks. It's the
Comes to
best.
fruition. Absolutely, yeah.
All
And
right. Well,
knowing how
thank you so
proud
much.
they
Yeah,
are of it.
absolutely. So,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being on Teaching Tips Tuesday today.
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks, folks at home, for giving this a watch. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.